This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome to Special Chronicles Presents a Unified at Work series. My name is Daniel Smukowski. I'm the founder and host of Special Chronicles, a former Southern Striver Global Messenger of Special Olympics, and a service ambassador at United Airlines based in Chicago. We are so excited to celebrate National Disability Employment Awareness Month in October with the Season 5 finale this week of our popular Unified at Work series that celebrates the 5-year work anniversary of United Airlines Special Olympics Service Ambassador, or SOSA, program. Join us this week as we recount the origin story of the 5-year milestone of working at United Airlines. We'll hear excerpt clips from myself and my fellow original SOSAs, as well as executives and airport leaders, and we look back to the groundbreaking first year of the innovative and impactful inclusive employment program. Our website, specialchronicles.com, to follow Special Chronicles on socials, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead. I'll wait, but you go ahead and then tap that follow button right now. Did you tap it? Did you tap that follow button? Awesome. Now you'll be notified of new episodes that drop every week, every Monday. This episode is brought to you in support from United Airlines Bridge Disability Business Resource Group. United's Bridge Group is dedicated to connecting people of all abilities. United is committed to disability inclusion for employment and travel, including having Special Olympics athletes like myself as part-time employees. And now, Special Chronicles proudly presents the origin story of United Airlines Special Olympics Service Ambassador Program. I know you.
Oh, they remember you from Houston.
Either that or they saw a picture of the four of us on a
board, on a poster board or something.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you are a celebrity. You are
a podcast celebrity with a global following.
Yes, you do. Yes, with a global following. Hashtag global following. So let me just kind of jump forward and get a little serious. I'm just curious. What do you feel? I want to hear in your words what you think about the global partnership between Special Olympics and United Airlines. Where do you want to see this to go? What can you do to see it move forward?
Well, what do I want to see? That's a good question. I'm glad that you thought of that question.
I come up with good ones.
Your producer didn't come up with that.
But I mean, where would you like to see?
Where would I like to see? This global. Well, I would love to. In talking with some of my fellow athletes, I would love to see United hire more athletes. Yes, of course, there's more athletes in Illinois that I'm sure would love a job at O'Hare, at ORD in Chicago. But I would also love to see it in other airports, whether it's out in Houston or New York or Denver or DC or LAX or San Francisco or London or
anywhere, really.
Can we mention China? Maybe we shouldn't mention them. That might be a hot topic. And so, but not even the major hubs. I'm sure. I mean, of course, in the major hubs. But I would also like to see. And I don't know if this is possible, but I would also like to see athletes in even some of the smaller airports, if that's possible. And
if it is possible,
anything's possible. And also, you asked about this program. I would like to see us not just, and I know there are some restrictions with the union, with that you
Right.
guys are in. But that being aside, I would love to see us. There are so many different job opportunities in United, so I would love to see this as us as a service ambassador, as a foundation. But I would love to see us grow into other areas, whether it's as an agent, or whether it's as a pilot or flight attendant, or whether it's at Willis as a staff writer or
Marketing or whatever.
Whatever. I would love for us to be able to have these opportunities to grow beyond just not right away, of course, but I think that this job for us gives us a good idea of the whole company and being able to interact with people. And I mean, if as a service investor, if this was all an athlete wanted to do for their whole career at United, then I would say, yeah,
Right.
Keep them there. But I think there are myself and so many other Special Olympics athletes could go into other areas within United.
And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think that, this is groundbreaking moments in life, in your life. And there might be some younger Special Olympic athletes in Illinois that listen to your podcast or know you or have seen you speak and say, wow, I want to be like Daniel someday. And I want to do what Daniel does. I want to work at the airport. So you're leading, and you are definitely leading by example that anything can happen. Because I don't think 2 years ago, you'd ever think that you'd be working for a major airline.
No. But speaking of that, can I just share a brief kind of I never thought I would, but 5 years ago when my dad and I, when we moved to where I'm sitting right now in this studio, which is just on, I don't want to give too much away of my location, but I'll just, without giving too much away, I'll just, 'cause I don't want nothing against you listeners. I don't want the listeners to be.
You don't need your fans bombarding you when you get home from work at night.
No. I love the listeners. I love my fans, but I just, yeah.
Sometimes we need to keep things
Sometimes
private.
we need to have a private life. Oh, that could go in so many different angles there.
Oh, it sure can, Daniel. But let's stick to what you were going to tell
So
me.
what I was going to tell you was, so when we moved here, like directly down the street of where I live, I mean, yes, it takes an hour and 15 minutes, but down the street, it goes directly to O'Hare Airport. Like,
yep.
And so, you know where I live, but
yes,
so without giving too much away. And so I told my dad and my mom and my sisters and my brother-in-law, my now brother-in-law, I told them all that, hey, with us moving here, we live so close to the airport. I could hop on the bus and I could be at the airport.
You did not say that.
Yes, I did. And
no way.
and they said, this adds a little bit to the story, right? So this, and they were saying, so you're gonna go travel? You're gonna go travel? And not thinking, I mean, yes, I've traveled to a few places since we moved here, since before I had this job. But yeah, even with saying that, I never thought that I would be where I am right now with looking at United and at O'Hare. And so I think is with that statement of what I just said,
mm-hmm.
That's without being too religious, but that's God's plan of giving me to be one of the original.
One of the original four.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean,
isn't that amazing on how?
What do you think of that story of what I said? Like when we moved here 5 years ago,
and that you said something like that. I mean, it's just funny how you can take a step back and look at the big picture and say, "Wow, so my parents found this place to live, And ironically, a block away is where I can pick up public transportation to get to the airport. Not even that was God's plan for you. And you know what? It was a great laid plan by God. Well done, God.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Well done. So let's have you first, before even talking about our job at United. Before we had the job, we both took part in a job shadow event last year in 2019 before we even got the job. So maybe that's a good place to begin, Lowen. Tell our listeners a little bit about the very first 2 job shadow events that we have attended at United Airlines.
Well, the first one, I was paired up with Angela Franklin, and he was the life of a party, I have to say. We had so much fun together, and it really opened my eyes a lot to see what now I'm doing. I'm very thankful to Angela. I kind of feel like that was part of that was like the beginning for me. That was the beginning of such an amazing journey. So thank you, Angela.
Yeah. Thank you, Angela. And our listeners will hear the part 1, the part before this episode, the episode before this. They're going to hear actually Angela interviewing me. So big shout out to Angela Franklin, one of our mentors at United Airlines. So now let's talk about the job description. And I only have, I found the job description. It's the final version. It's not the draft that Keelan had sent us, but the final job description says service ambassadors. And it says, join United as we develop the world's leading airline. As a United Airlines ambassador, you can play an important role in making passengers appreciate the quality of service offered by United. The positive interactions that the ambassadors have with our passengers will have a direct positive impact on the company. We're looking for people with the desire to take that extra step to improve someone's travel experience. So tell us maybe a little about Lowen, when you first got that job description. They also prefer to have Special Olympics athletes. So some of the responsibilities: assist customers with directional information, assist with providing supplies to designated operational locations, gate room assist, greet customers, help manage amenity couch, lobby concierge, greet customers and direct appropriate check-in area. And then there's a few other things that we won't have to really get into, but tell us, based on what I read in the job description and really based on when you first saw that job description, Lowen, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that, seeing that.
Well, I think the job description itself was very good. I thought the responsibilities were within my reach. And I think there's a lot of others who could also do that, who are also athletes. So that was good.
Yeah. So you said, just so our listeners understand, so you said you thought that some of the responsibilities, that there are other responsibilities that we could do. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
In addition to what's on. Yeah. And I feel that too. And so maybe that's something that they could try to work on in the future when they hire more athletes, if it's in Houston or New York or DC or Los Angeles or San Francisco, or, at the different hubs at the different airports. Maybe that's something they can work on.
It gets, the better, the merrier it will be.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. Yeah. It will definitely get better as they grow this program, and they hear from us as we're the pilots, we're the guinea pigs for this new. We're
part of the pilot program, and so I'm sure that they will look to us to, see how they can improve. And so then after we got the job description, I believe it was the first Wednesday, I could be off by the day, but the first week of October 2019, we went into at O'Hare International Airport, Terminal 1 for our job interview and I thought it was going to be, I don't know about you, but Lauren, but I thought there's going to be a lot of athletes being interviewed for this job, but it ended up just being the four of us, and we all accepted and got it. But what did you think of going into the interview and then the whole interview process on that day?
So my mom was the one who drove me, so shout out to her for driving me, and a shout out to my dad for supporting me. When I got in, it was a great day. Everyone was welcoming. The actual interview process was well. The questions were good, and the interviewer was super nice. Thank you, Linda. That day, I made friends with other students and masters, which include you, Daniel. Yeah. I'm super happy. I got such an amazing job. I want to thank the people that made this possible, Donna, Karen, and a huge shout out to Steve.
Yes, a huge shout out to Steve. It was an amazing experience. In that conference room and office that now we are so familiar with.
At the time, I was just mostly curious about what our title would be and what we were actually going to be doing in United.
Yeah, I know.
So this morning.
Just learning. Yeah, I know. I was with not knowing anything about the job before. Yeah, I know. I was really curious as well. So attending the week after the interview, we attended the second Job Shuttle Day event with Special Olympics and United Airlines. And that second one was my first job shuttle. Was that your second job shuttle that you went to?
See, I don't remember. It was either my second one or my actually third job shuttle.
Third? Because
that
was the second, I think that was the second official one.
Are you sure? I don't know. I remember having three.
Well, so there was three last year. There was one in February 2019, one in October, which is this one that I'm talking about is the second one in October.
Willis Tower one, probably the most. Okay. So it was mostly, So with the Willis Tower, they were mostly telling us the motto. I kind of forgot about the motto.
The COFO, what is it? Killing safety. Killing safety. Dependable and efficient, something like that. I think
so.
I think we should know this.
I know, right?
I know we should know this. Hopefully, Steve, our supervisor and managers will understand. But yeah, we should know this. So. We got our pictures taken for our ID. We went to this women's in aviation event, and we got our picture taken with a couple other people that I forgot, and we had the drug test, the drug test with you and with that you and Lauren and Z all went really fast. And me, it took me a long time to do that drug test.
Yes, they gave us a lot of water.
But it still took me a long time because I always have a hard time doing that drug test. Now, please, listeners, don't jump to it. Pretty much.
So we saw how to do the bag tag by Marlene.
Yeah. No. Was it? No, that was more training. No. That wasn't the orientation day. We didn't meet Marine on the orientation day. No, this was with Sandy from HR, from Human Resources. This was Steve, our boss. We got our uniforms except our jackets. That we got months later. But and then Steve took us on a tour through the lobby with Gunto, the lobby supervisor at the time, and then we went through security 3, and then we went
employee.
Yeah, so and that's the way we have a training program for us. So they were all kind of, which kind of looking back on things, I think that they should have before they hired us. They should have had a plan. Like they should have. I think they should have. I don't know, but I mean, it was good. I mean, at least we can't complain. I mean, they still treat us, excellently.
It's like any other employee.
Yeah. So and that's the way a true inclusive employment program.
You impact our women's VRG. And so more of a spectator in the diversity inclusion space at that point. And just remember feeling a distinct sense of great pride working for a company that was leading in inclusion of people with all abilities.
And I spent a lot of times in the airport, so I actually kind of stumble on you. Would you call yourself the original 4 out here at the O'Hare last year? And again, like Jessica said, it just made me, you guys put a smile. I didn't have a mask on then, so it was the good old days. So you guys really put a big old smile on my face. And then like Jessica said, I felt like really proud of you, but also proud of our company. And again, like just really proud of what we were able to do together, and seeing the smiles you guys are putting on our customers. And those are the small things. We talk about it all the time. Me having customer care. Obviously, we get a lot of complaints, but when we get compliments, you'd be surprised about how people literally write us letters and emails about the small things. Somebody just helped them, show them directions, gave them a smile, just listen to them and treated them as a human being. And nobody does that better than the original 4 out here at O'Hare. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Yeah, and we also feel proud also to be here. And that's one of the things that I like with always getting to know the other person's story. So, and even a lot of times we don't have a lot of time to talk with each customer that comes through the lobby, but we even just that small moment, I think, can make a big impact. Now we're going to switch gears and have you just talk about the social impact of the inclusion revolution as it relates to United Airlines.
Absolutely. I love that term. It's such a powerful way to talk about inclusion, and it rhymes, so that's a plus. The inclusion revolution is so powerful. And I like to think about it that way. People think of a revolution as a much grander, disruptive event, but I feel like small acts of empathy, and connection on just in our day-to-day lives is really what an inclusion revolution is about. And I love what it means for connecting people with all abilities and beyond that. Really, I feel like we can think about how, as we go about our daily lives, we can be more empathetic, be more inclusive of everyone on our teams.
Of listeners for free and on demand at specialchronicles.com and on podcasts everywhere. Podcast apps everywhere. The United at Work series is produced in collaboration with United Airlines. United is Chicago's hometown airline and a major legacy airline. United Airlines is a proud global partner for Special Olympics. Fly the friendly skies and book your travel today on united.com or on the United mobile app. Support the Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Join our supporters as we currently raise $12,000 in celebration of our 20-year celebration at Special
12.
Chronicles. I said 12.
Oh, you did? Sorry. It's the math.
Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. So
I was wondering why it was soft.
So here we are, 6 months after the pandemic started, and or 6 months since I've seen each and every one of you. We have kept in touch throughout time. I'm just kind of curious and want to talk to you about something it's pretty serious to all of us. I mean, everybody who's dealing with this is dealing with health issues, either they're underlying, you're born with them or whatnot. But we are all faced with our challenges every day. So some of you have from birth had underlying health conditions that you've lived with your whole life. And I'm wondering, how did you deal with this during the pandemic?
Let's go first. You want me to go first?
So if that's, let me take this to a different direction. So Daniel, let's say you were born with underlying health issues. Yeah. You were born with them. It's something you dealt with your whole life. Now you're coming into a pandemic.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. So because I've had a lack of oxygen in my brain, there was a lot. And because COVID-19 has to deal with that, I have to always make sure that I've got the mask and do all the stuff that you need to stay safe and healthy, because my lungs are not as strong as your lungs or Susie's. Well, listeners can't see, but my lungs are not as strong as somebody.
Were there any extra conditioning or exercising or anything that you needed to do in order to maintain?
That when I can ask you guys to do something, that there's nothing that you guys can't do, and it just amazes me. But I've learned that as a leader, just because it was just different for me, I guess, in the general. As you guys are the first U4 and UA4, you guys are the first, and I know that you guys are probably the first airline, right? We're the first airline to hire Special Olympics. Yeah. So it was completely new for me. And, I know even though the personal aspect or the personal side, but at the same time, it was just a different leadership approach and a different way of teaching and coaching and getting to know you guys a little bit different. And it had made me grown as a leader to know that you guys, are just like all the other employees. And if I put something, or if I give you a task, I know that you guys will complete it. And if you can't, you're going to try, and then you're going to come back to me asking for help or look for help, but you're going to make sure you succeed in that goal.
Awesome. Well, share advice on an expert tip that you can give to other United hubs as they look to us or the Chicago hub as a lead in the way. United overall is leading the way, but now Chicago All Hub is leading the way. So share with us some brief advice and expert tips that you can give to other United hubs in creating similar inclusive full-time employment programs.
So the first thing I would say is this program is truly lit. And, if you have the opportunity. It
really is.
It is, isn't it? Right? Yeah. And if you have the opportunity to become involved in it, that absolutely step up and do it, right? It enriches the entire workplace, and it helps you develop connections that I think make us all better people for all involved. And I would say 100% go for it. Find those special people that you want to bring in with our partnership with Special Olympics, and it'll help you grow as a station. It'll help you build your culture, and it'll make us all better in the end.
And you can join us in being lit.
And you all can be lit too.
Steve?
How would I go for that? But
And Steve were just so inspired by the movement, by the inclusion revolution, and thought there's something more that we can do. And we need to bring this spirit of inclusion, the spirit of love, because I will say that the whole movement just brings out an incredible feeling of love and compassion and togetherness to help all of us evolve and become better people. But they saw that, and it was because of the two of them that really got the program in motion. I was so thrilled to support them. I am not going to give myself any credit for this outside of being a support for the two of them and really cheerleading and getting them to get the program together. But when we actually got through, our 4 ambassadors were hired, and I got to walk into that conference room at our headquarters in Willis Tower and see you with your families and call you my colleagues. I'm telling you, Daniel, that was a highlight of my career. And seeing all of you, the 4 of you, and I'll be honest, I've formed a unique relationship with you more than the other 4 ambassadors, just because we've gotten to know each other and become friends through the process. But seeing how you have grown, lots of phone calls, intentional or by accident, because that happens sometimes too. But have gotten to know you and your colleagues and see how not only you have grown, because that's an important part of any employment. I grow in my employment, but also seeing the way that you have changed the culture at O'Hare for our other employees and for our customers. It's been amazing.
Awesome. You mentioned, and we don't have a lot of time to kind of go on tangents, but you mentioned love. And for Special Olympics International, as an international Southern Driver International Global Messenger, or SSIGM, there's a bunch of stuff that he does for me. It's a inside joke. Now everybody knows. But bad killer, that's what he says. Anyways, he recorded it, and I don't know, he probably has the video somewhere, but I gave a speech on the whole idea of love as it relates to us athletes. And so on that theme of love, I think that it relates to the inclusion revolution, but tell us about the social impact of the inclusion revolution as it relates to United Airlines and as it relates to Special Olympics and our global partnership with United Airlines.
Yeah, well, it looks like Karen. Now back to you. Okay. All right, again, this is episode 1 for me, Daniel, so you're going to have to bear with me.
I didn't know who's going to go first.
No, I think it says a few things. I mean, as you've said, it's really a groundbreaking inclusive program. I mean, they were brave enough to take these steps and propel this movement, and I think we're going to see that they're leading by example, and others are going to take notice. I mean, United Airlines is a huge brand. I think hopefully their peers, not just in the airline industry, but others will realize the benefit of taking these kind of steps and follow suit. But I think to your point about love, I think this partnership and this program really humanizes them and cements their commitment to serving all. I mean, I hear and see a lot about connecting people, uniting the world, and this is proof that they're really committed to doing that. And they want to make sure that their customer service is top notch for any single customer that they'd ever encounter in service. So I think this just echoes that.
Yeah, and I think that with the fact that the global pandemic is happening in all,
like Daniel, it's just
to transition episode on the job with, because even though technically we are not on the job with you two, we are still on. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know if you guys can see. Well, podcast listeners can't see us, but the jacket I'm wearing is. Do you guys want to describe for our listeners? Let me see if I can bring it up.
Very nice uniform piece, a lovely royal blue United co-branded Special Olympics sport jacket. Very nice.
Yeah. So with that, as we quickly move on, tell us about the I'm going to kind of combine for the sake of time. I'm going to combine the next two in one. So tell us about the disability training that Special Olympics hosted along with JJ's List with United employees. I thought that that Steve, my boss, had to take it too.
Okay. So now that you have had a year under your belt and not, what a year you've had. You're dealing with a pandemic that, really none of us really know how to deal with this. I mean, we're all taking it one day at a time, but
3 months into
3 months into it, you were hit with a pandemic. So, we talked about that on the last episode, but, thinking back now, here we are 6 months into it. And how comfortable are you now working at United? Knowing how to, be smart, educate yourself, and use the tools that you have.
Well, like I walked over here this morning. I walked over here to this Pilates club by myself. A year ago, I wouldn't have necessarily done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle?
So I'm really comfortable now, especially because now I even know how to get through without going through security. But I'm used to, I know almost like most of the airport by now as part of working here. I mean, I'm sure there's some parts that we could actually all use and refresh and say, oh, I forgot that.
Yeah, I don't know, looking by the gates, are you talking about, or more in the lobby?
Oh, I'm talking about gates. I'm talking about the T2.
Yeah. 20 and else.
Correct?
Yeah.
You've met a lot of coworkers, and you've been through probably, I'd say, a good 150, maybe 100.
I need to know your effects buttons so I can just push them when I need to.
I know. I feel it. Yeah.
Now I got the applause.
So
button.
it's the yellow button.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Warning: there might be a lot of applause because now I'm going to geek out on this whole.
Yeah, I didn't even play our theme song, but I'll play it.
That's all right.
This is the kind of bonus.
These are bonus footage here.
Bonus footage.
So how does approaching your 1 year anniversary with United? How do you feel about that?
It's amazing. Looking back, kind of where I was a year ago, I didn't really know that much about our jobs in this program, and I kind of, to be fully on, and I've shared this on previous episodes in the past. I don't know which episode, because we have hundreds.
So you're on what, 400 something?
Well,
pretty close?
Technically over 300, but I've somehow not numbered this sequence.
You're getting close, though.
Over 400. Yes. Over 400, yeah. And last September, I wasn't in, I was kind of really overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. And when I got the phone call from Karen Milligan at Special Olympics about this job, he also told me about kind of two big things in one phone call, which is, I don't know if it's totally good, but it ended up working out good. So she told me about this job, and at the same time, she told me about, so she and Dave Bean, our president and CEO of Special Olympics Illinois, we are going to Dublin for a unified leadership workshop for Special Olympics. And she told me about these two, and I wasn't in a good place, but now, and I was a little hesitant going through this whole interview process, but now I'm really grateful for this opportunity because my self-confidence has grown a lot, and I've really been able to develop in communication, with helping customers, with communicating with people in different cultures. And in college, I took a cross-cultural communication class. So now some of that is kind of helping
on the job.
On
the job. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but yeah. Karen and Milligan even recognizes that my self-confidence has really grown a lot. And now looking at coming to 1 year, I've really developed. I might have to take this off.
Go ahead and get comfortable.
Yeah, let me
get comfortable.
Yeah.
We're going to be here a while.
We're going to be here all day.
As Daniel is making himself more comfortable here in our Polaris Lounge, I'm just going to comment on the fact that you said, though, when you approach the interview almost, just over a year ago, it's intimidating. It's intimidating for everybody, right? That was such a normal feeling. I was intimidated when I approached my first work interview. And the other comment that you made of having to work on your confidence and the ability to come out and be, you're all good.
I have to adjust myself in the camera.
Of course you do. It's very important.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Continue.
Wonderful. He's all set. Name, badge, and all. So you talk about, overcoming these obstacles to get yourself to a place where you are feeling more comfortable and confident. I think that's another thing that many people struggle through. And I'm going to tell you this, sitting here across from you today, seeing you in action.
Just move it up a little bit. No, yeah, move the mic up a little bit. So
to me.
To you, yeah. So
I'm a rookie here. This is my first time. So I'm learning from the best and I'm learning on the job. This is why I wanted to have coffee talk with you. I told you I wanted to learn from you, and it's happening right here live in front of you all.
It's just people need to be, but with the mask, we need
with the masks. So I was just going to say, sitting here across from you, when I arrived at O'Hare this morning, you don't even know this, I was going through the security line. Yeah. And you were walking through that lobby like you owned the place. You are saying hello to people. People know your name. You are a true celebrity here at United.
You saw me this morning?
I did. I was too far away. I would have made a scene if I yelled from across the security line. So I didn't do that. But I was just observing and seeing you. And I know it's not easy. I know it takes work. But seeing you from afar, seeing you do your thing as you are leading your podcast, you would never know that is something that you struggle with. Yeah. So you have mastered it beautifully. Yeah. And I know it's something that you struggle with every day.
Yeah. And that's what I say. Communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. Because I've had growing up in high school, even before, there was times.
And that concludes the retrospective of looking back at the first year of the Special Olympic Service Ambassador program at United Airlines. And I wanted to share with you before we sign off on this episode, there was this month of October 2024, as we celebrate the 5-year anniversary, the mayor of Chicago had put a proclamation, and I'm going to read you the proclamation from Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, and the proclamation says, whereas each year the month of October is recognized as National Disability Employment Awareness Month, NEDA, across the United States, celebrating the invariable contributions of individuals with disabilities in the workforce and underscoring the importance of fostering inclusive work environments, and whereas United Airlines has demonstrated leadership in promoting employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities by launching the Special Olympics Service Ambassador or SOSA program in 2019, a groundbreaking initiative that invites Special Olympics athletes to join United's workforce as part-time employees in airports across the country, and whereas Special Olympics Service Ambassadors serve a vital role by welcoming United customers, assisting with check-in kiosks, directing passengers to baggage drop-off points, and guiding them through the TSA pre-check lines, thereby enhancing the customer experience while also contributing to a more inclusive workforce. And whereas the SOSA program reflects United Airlines' dedication to creating employment pathways for individuals with intellectual disabilities, demonstrating the company's belief in the value of diverse talent and the strength that comes from an inclusive work environment. And whereas the city of Chicago reaffirms the commitment to fostering a more inclusive society that recognizes the values and abilities of every individual, including those with disabilities, and encourages the removal of barriers that hinder equal opportunities in employment. Now, therefore, I, Brandon Johnson, Mayor of the City of Chicago, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as National Disability Employment Awareness Month in the City of Chicago, and commend United Airlines for their innovative and impactful Special Olympics Service Ambassador program, which exemplifies a commitment to inclusivity and enriches both the workforce and our community at large. Dated this 17th day of October 2024, Mayor Brandon Johnson. So that is the proclamation that was read this month. And as we come to a close on this episode, this season 5 finale episode of a Unified Work Series, we'll let you know you can shop our merchandise store and know that 60% of the profits will go back to Special Chronicles. Our merchandise store is managed by Austin Labels. Our Disabled Voices Matter line of merch. We have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs. Go to specialchronicles.com/shop. And remember to tap that follow button so you never miss a new episode. Next week, we are so excited to be welcoming comedian and podcaster Dustin Nicholson to talk about inclusive comedy and tons of more exciting episodes for you guys in the coming weeks and coming months. So stay tuned to right here on specialchronicles.com. So until then, have a great week, and I'll catch you all next week right here on the Special Chronicles podcast on specialchronicles.com. And have a great week. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smikowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks as always to our business manager, Adam Smukowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smukowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Back when
is so good. You know, you are a celebrity that is driving a message that is changing people's lives. Like, that's gotta be overwhelming.
Yeah,
like, how does that feel?
It's really humbling to really be that face. Well, a lot of times, yes, growing up in my early years, people would know me, but they would always know me as kid with challenges. That I feel like there was a high emphasis on that label that I and all of us, the original UFO, have. But now I feel like when people see us, they see us not for. They see me not for my disability, but they see me for what I'm able to do, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
It's amazing. You inspire me. I learn from you. I just get so motivated by you, which part of it is what prompted our coffee talk. And I don't think either one of us had a sip of coffee yet. So maybe we need to officially have a sip of coffee.
Wait. I thought coffee talk was in the next episode.
Well, maybe we can have two. So we're going to figure out how to have a sip of coffee through mass.
We're going to have 2 coffee talks. Okay.
We'll call this one a coffee sip.
Coffee sip.
And we'll have an in-depth coffee talk coming up shortly. But it's been sitting there. So
stay tuned.
And you've been very patient. I don't want your latte to get cold. So at least enjoy that. And then I am going to switch because one of
Can I just say, I wish we had pumpkin spice lattes all year round.
I'm with you. The pumpkin spice jam is real. I love it. I love the pumpkin spice cereal. I love the pumpkin spice muffins. I love the pumpkin spice coffees.
Pie.
Pumpkin spice pie. All those things. And I'm with you.
I think it's pumpkin pie, not spice.
Pumpkin pie that has spices in it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and just to do a quick shift, because this was really one of the reasons why I wanted to get together with you and have a coffee talk, a coffee sip, and really interview you. I am so amazed on how you... sounds loud. I'm so amazed how you manage.
Web it up.
I'm amazed at how you manage all of your different capacities. And we're going to continue to talk about this because we do need to wrap our special kind of talk now.
But we'll continue with coffee talk, which we're going to have to stop this.
We are. We're going to continue with coffee talk.
We'll come back.
We will be back. Stay tuned.
Did you have other questions to ask me?
Well, it's the questions that I wanted to know about how you manage all of your schedules in your life. We'll get to that. There's plenty of time.
We can get to that when I ask you too.
We can do it.
We'll go back and forth.
So thanks for this special segment. I had lots of fun and more to come.
More to come. So right here on specialchronicles.com. And I'll let you put us a little outro thing.
Woo!
Until next week, remember, choose to include
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Ryan, running all over.